Hi everyone, I'm Adelia Dian. Today, I will invite you for using a sunscreen every day. Previously, I asked, have you used sunscreen today? If not, let's ask sunscreen after this because it's very important in helping to maintain the health and safety your skin from the dangers of UV light. Ultraviolet light is part of the electromagnetic wave of solar radiation energy in the 100 to the 400 nanometers band. Solar radiation that reaches the Earth's surface itself is at around a wavelength of 100 nanometers to 1 millimeter. UVA has the smallest wavelength of about 315 to 4,000 nanometers. Even though is it not a direct cause, exposure to UVA can cause signs of aging to appear on the skin, such as dry skin and wrinkles, and is considered a trigger factor for skin cancer. By knowing the UV index, we can monitor the level of ultraviolet lights that is beneficial and that can prevent harm. The following is the UV index level. First, green has a UV index of 0 to 2, and the low categories has a low hazard risk. The fixed is SPF 13 plus sunscreen for sensitive skin. And 2, yellow has a UV index of 2 to 3. The moderate category has a moderate hazard risk. The fix is apply SPF 30 plus sunscreen every 2 hours, even when it's hot after swimming or when sweating. And 3, orange has a UV index of 6 to 7, a high category with high hazard risk. The fix is reduce the time in the sun between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Then apply an SPF 30 plus sunscreen every 2 hours, even when it's hot after swimming or when sweating. 4, red has a UV index of 8 to 10. The very high category has a very high hazard risk. The fix is extra precautions are needed as skin and eyes can be damaged and burner quickly. Apply an SPF 13 plus sunscreen every 2 hours, even when it's hot after swimming or when sweating. And the last is purple. Has a UV index of more than 12, and the extreme category has a very extreme hazard risk. The fix is extra precautions are needed as skin and eyes can be damaged and burned in minutes. Wear sun protect clothing, a wet hat, and sun-blocking sunglasses, and use SPF 30 plus sunscreen every 2 hours, even when it's hot after swimming or when sweating. Therefore, from now on, let's go to know the UV index to protect our skin from exposure to sunlight, which is very dangerous for skin health and has a very dangerous impact. In general, the number of ultraviolet rays that reach the Earth will be influenced by several factors, namely, first, the angle of incidence of sunlight. The more upright it will contain more ultraviolet rays. The next, the position of the latitude of the place the further to the pole, the ultraviolet rays will be smaller, and three, could cover, the more close the ultraviolet rays reach, the smaller it will be. And four, altitude, the higher a place, the greater the ultraviolet rays received. And five, the ozone layer, the more ozone in the upper layer, the better is filter out ultraviolet rays. And last, reflection on the surface of the earth, the more it can reflect light, the less ultraviolet light there is on the surface to the earth. Okay, in addition, ultraviolet rays also have benefit. The well-known benefit of ultraviolet lights is to convert poor vitamin D in the body into vitamin D. We know that vitamin D plays a role in regulating calcium and phosphorus levels and helps build strong bones and teeth. Inserting dust under the supervision of a doctor, ultraviolet light is also used for the treatment of several skin diseases. As the WHO calls it, ultraviolet lights can also evoke moods or and can reduce symptoms of depression. In addition to providing benefits, ultraviolet rays also contain dangers. Exposure to ultraviolet rays for a long time can cause health problems. First, damage to the eyes. Exposure to ultraviolet lights directly on the eyes can cause cataracts, which at a several level will cause blindness. And two, skin damage. Ultraviolet rays cause burn, premature aging, and degenerative skin cells, which in turn trigger skin cancer. And three, last, decreased immune system. The immune system is suppressed by ultraviolet light in several ways. Sun exposure time to pay attention to first at the daily time. UV exposure is highest between 10 am and 4 p.m. At this time, the sun's rays have a closer distance from the earth. This makes exposure to UV rays stronger. And two, season. UV exposure is highest in spring and summer. During the season, the sun is at a higher angle, which increases the intensity of UV rays. 3. Latitude. Exposure to UV rays is highest in areas at or near the equator, where UV rays have less distance to travel before reaching the ground. And 4. Height. UV rays are stronger at higher altitudes because they have less distance to travel. And 5. Ozone. The ozone layer protects from UV rays, but greenhouse gas and pollutants have caused the ozone layer to thin, increasing UV intensity. And next, clouds. Clouds filter some of the UV rays from reaching the ground. However, it depends on the breadth chart. Water-flat clouds may block more UV rays than tall, thin clouds. And last, reflection. Surfaces such as snow, water, sun, and pavement can increase UV exposure. Okay, in this case, we have to be more selective in protecting our skin from sun exposure because if we cannot take care of it, it can cause severe skin damage, skin cancer, blindness in these eyes, sunburn, and blisters can even make the skin feel excessively hot. For those of you who have sensitive skin, Use sunscreen that has an SPF of 30 to protect your skin from sun exposure. With what I have to say, I hope this can be used as a reference for you in protecting your skin from the sun. That's all I can say. I hope this is useful and I apologize if there are errors in my delivery. Thank you and see you.